All right. We are back to it, ladies and gentlemen, making our way to Sentinel Hill in Westfall. When last we left our intrepid hero, we, I believe, had just discovered the fate of one Vanessa Van Cleef. So I was able to uh, do the voiceover for the first episode, or episode sounds kind of stupid in this context. I was able to do the voiceover for Elwyn Forest, and I know there's ore right there, but I love the interaction. If you have Sinrunner Blanchy and you haven't ever done this, if you run to where Living Blanchy is, Sinrunner Blanchy screams in anguish and fades from view. Such a cool little thing. It amuses me greatly. Now I'm going to run back over here and grab that ore. And then I'm going to wonder why this idiot's right behind me. Well, he's not anymore. So yes, we are headed back to Sentinel Hill to pick up Rise of the Brotherhood, and we will go from there. I ran a dungeon. It also occurred to me that I am not in time walking at the moment, which will become consequential here in about 10 levels or so. So before we make our way into Duskwood, we will make sure that we are in time walking. So I ran a dungeon because, well, I wanted level 20. We got level 20. We got our speedier riding, so now we have 100%, and then Crusader Aura is giving us another 20, so that we can just get around the world a little bit faster. I also went and picked up my Darkmoon Adventures guide because Darkmoon Fair is going on. It is currently the 2nd of April as I'm doing this. So we are going to grab the Rise of the Brotherhood, and we will bear witness to the rise of the Brotherhood. I'm also doing this in a slightly different way than I was previously. I'm recording the audio through one program, I'm recording the gameplay footage through another, and then I will merge the two of them. And my reason for doing that is I will be able to void out some of the dead space, so you hopefully won't be able to hear the fans on the rig running, which I noticed was a thing. The downside is that by using a dedicated audio recording app, it's the microphone is picking up so much more dead space. Like, I could hear the clock ticking in the background, which is just absolute goddamn insanity. Now, I will say, and this might trip things up just a little bit, I want to make sure that this is on this, and then I want to make sure. Let's get this going. Let's take this over to here. And let's boot up this. And then we can just drop in one of these and hope that the volume isn't absolutely ear-searing. And it does not seem to be. There we go. Okay. There we go. And that should be picking up a little bit of everything. All right. Cool, cool, cool. So that is done. Where? Oh, report to Stormwind. So we got to do that. Now we've got the music going, so there will be a little bit less of that. Just completely dead air in the background. And of course, I'm not testing anything before I do it. Just fuck it, we're doing it live. But this should make it a little bit better, and there's not just this constant, the fans are very, very quiet on this rig, but the microphone is very, very sensitive. Joys of having a streamer grade microphone, and it's just USB. It's just plugged into the rig and it picks up what it picks up. And short of like wrapping it in like noise deadening material, I don't know what I could do to make it a little less sensitive. Without picking up extra hardware. So I'm trying my best with the tools that are available to me. Actually, you know what? While I'm already in Stormwind, I feel like picking up a couple of, or rather, I feel like setting time walking while I'm here might not be a terrible idea. I think realistically, for the 1 to 60, like the old school 1 to 60, I think 20 is where you would end off. But that is not what we are going to do right now. Let me grab this, report back to Mr. Man. We're going to run over here. Into the water. Go, horsey, go. This is where not having that damned water walking on my mount just slightly annoys me. And I mean, I think mount equipment is available. Yeah, it is. So if I really wanted to, I could do that, but we're just not gonna worry with it right now. So I'm gonna select the Cataclysm timeline. No, I'm not. I'm gonna select Burning Crusade. The reason being that if I need to just gain some quick levels and run some dungeons, those dungeons tend to be some of the fastest, which very good for when I just need to, like, if I want to blow through and get up to flying as quick as I can, I have that option. Really don't want to do that just yet. I really just want to go back over there and start questing some more. Because I've recorded the audio for Elwyn Forest, I had to do that after the fact. And I also have to record still the. No, I don't need anything from you right now. I still have to record the audio for Westfall Part 1. There's certain things that are going to be slightly out of order as far as my commentary is concerned. One of those being, we're in Retribution spec. Doing the voiceover for Elwyn Forest and being kind of pigeonholed into protection for the first little bit. Not gonna lie, that was kind of that was much more enjoyable to play through than to talk about after the fact. Like, I had already had a long day of work, so I was yawning, and like as the video was getting towards the end, I was just like, you know what, I am so fucking tired. And then last night I didn't get to play really. I got home from work and I had such a fucking migraine that I think I booted it up. I went to go see what was on offer in the trading post this month. I did pick up, not heirlooms. It's a two-handed axe, right? Yeah, I did pick this up because I felt that it matched pretty nicely with my armor. But I like the Ashbringer for right now. I think it matches a little bit better. So, oh, and that is it for the Westfall story quests. But we're not done with Westfall yet. We still have a handful of things to grab. All of the gnolls that we're attacking are now replaced with these Defias henchmen. Can I just say how much better it feels to be playing as Rhett? Like, that's going to be a theme in the first Westfall video too, just because, holy shit, the new Rhett is just so fucking good. I love it so much. But we are not done. Oh, no. We are not done by, not by a long shot, but we're not done for a little while here yet. So we have the treasure map. That's part 1. We definitely want to complete the treasure map because we want to do as many quests as we can, you know. So we definitely want the treasure map, and we're gonna go do. We're gonna zip over this way, and we're going to do the lighthouse quests. You know, we want to complete the zones as much as possible. And that's one of the things I like less about this story progression bit that they've got going on. Like, yeah, I get it. Like, that is the main story of Westfall, is the return of the Defias Brotherhood. but it's not all of the quests. And it kind of reminds me of when they broke up Moradon into a handful of dungeons, and people would leave after the second boss, but really, there was a third boss to beat, and that was the actual end of the dungeon. But previously it hadn't been. Like, it was very, very strange. Come here, you. Everybody dies. And me without my... Me without a lot of my healing just yet. But that's okay. We don't need it. We'll just fuck these dudes up anyway. Maybe, just maybe, we'll find that lovely rare spawn Murloc running up and down the beach here. That would be cool. That's what we need. Come here, you. Bye-bye. Alright, and then we gotta go grab a Chasm Ooze. We'll grab this ore deposit. We'll dip and dodge some gnolls here. And by dip and dodge, I of course just mean we'll just run right through them and hopefully not get dismounted. Any Murlocies down there? I mean, there's an ore vein right here, and I kind of want that. Come here. We do have some mail. That's probably from the auction house. I had cleared out a little bit of the guild bank and was selling some of the older materials that I had, that my fiance and I had accumulated. I was getting rid of some of those on the auction house, so that money will just be deposited back into the guild bank. That won't be factoring into our tally. Yeah, kick his ass. You guys got this. Mage and a warrior. Neat. Don't mind little old me just running in here. We're just here to get some Chasm Ooze. I should probably turn off error speech if I'm going to be doing this. Malachite, you don't say. Alright, that's it for the Chasm Ooze. Sanders Treasure's back this way. So we'll bang out Captain Sanders' treasure right quick, and then we'll continue on with the lighthouse stuff. I don't think there is a follow-up to the lighthouse after these quests, though I could be wrong. Ooh, there's an ore vein. I almost missed it. Hopefully the mount cycling out is beneficial and slightly less boring than if I were just using one singular mount through this whole thing. I mean, you know, as interactive as this can be, it's a lot of quests in World of Warcraft. Now, this guy can spawn in 2 different places, so maybe he's here. Then again, maybe he's not. Either way, the quest that we want is up here, so we're just going to keep on heading up that way. Hello, Mr. Coyote. Goodbye, Mr. Coyote. There's an ore vein over there. I want it. It's right there. May as well zip over and grab it. It's free experience. Also, like my chat logs have stayed, but not in the positions that I put them in, which is kind of annoying. Treasure chest? No. Okay. Oh, man. Okay. Where is my guy? What was he? Yeah, that thing. Dark water skate. Let's hop on that. There we go. A little bit of extra movement speed helps here. I will say this is one of those quests. I think this was the first one where I actually felt like that sense of accomplishment, because you actually had to read the quests unless you were going on like Thoughtbot every 10 seconds. And given that I did not have dual monitors back then, this was one of those ones where like figuring out the clues in this game that I had never really played before was like, hey, that was pretty cool. We want this one to get that extra movement speed when we judge people. And I judge people a lot, so extra movement speed is just going to be on constantly. Like that was the first one, that kind of rush of, you know, I did that thing. And then the second one came with when I made my druid and going to get the different forms was really fucking cool. Like, I remember being, you know, as a Tauren druid, having to run over here down into the ocean over here. I think it was out there, maybe. It was somewhere along the coast here. You had to swim out there and then swim to the bottom of the ocean. And I think there was a little like water bubble crevice there, so you could fill back up on oxygen. But you had to make it there without dying. And I know there was a little bit of room for margin. There was a slight margin of error there, but not a huge one. And I remember after I got that form, because I was an herbalist, I was like, holy shit, like, look at all this strangle kelp. I can just sit down here forever and collect strangle kelp. This is so cool. And then just swinging the camera around so I could see the little swish, swish, swish. The little druid swim animation where he kind of rocks from side to side and then kind of rockets forward a little bit. Just silly stuff like that, like getting that back when you actually had to do like the different quests for your different forms was just so cool. And I think if WoW hadn't had things like that, people wouldn't have been nearly as enamored with it as they were. The class quests were wonderful. I never did get to do the Berserker Stance quest in Classic WoW, but I did get to do a handful of the totem quests. I think the last one I was doing was with the centaurs. So I don't remember which one that was, but it was there and it was fun. Okay, so this was totally the end of this zone. Got to do a lot of the forms quests. Doing the quest to tame a pet as my hunter was pretty cool the first time. Repeats of that quest were a little annoying, but doing it the first time was a lot of fun. And there were just so many cool things like that. That, if they hadn't been around, I don't know that WoW would have been nearly the cultural phenomenon that it became. The class quests were such a big thing. And they sort of kept them around. Like every class has its own, like, oh, go and do this thing and we'll give you, a piece of armor or a piece of gear. And, like, yeah, that's cool, but you're just going into Shadowfang Keep and gathering, like, one of, or three of the same, like, 6 ingredients. Everyone needs 3 of these 6. So, I mean, it's not nearly as engaging as it was once upon a time. The Legion class halls definitely brought back some of that flavor. Not all of it, and some class halls were better than others. I did very much enjoy the Paladin class hall, and I'm looking forward to doing those quests again. In all honesty, recruiting the champions of the light, like those quests were a lot of fun. I really, really fucking enjoyed that, and it brought back a lot of that class fantasy. And so I will actually be excited to get back to Legion and, go through all the trials and tribulations to become High Lord once again. So, but I dare say that will, that's going to end it for this episode. I'm going to go. I'm going to collect my mail, and it's still pretty early on in the evening, so I will probably get right back to it and go play in Redridge. So I will catch up with everyone there.